Welcome guys to your 7th GML beginners tutorial, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to make hit points and stuff for your player. Last video we kind of worked with some global variables and we made a really cool score system that works pretty good. And now in this video we're going to be making health and stuff for our player and adding objects in the game that would hurt our player. And then maybe in the next few tutorials I'll show you how to actually kill your player and end the game and all that fun stuff. But first, let's make a lava sprite. SPR_lava. Let's go ahead and edit the sprite. File new. Make it 16 by 16. Double click this. Zoom way in. And let's just fill that with red. And then we can just kind of click around here with a darker shade of red. And this is just kind of a cool way to make something that kind of looks like lava. And just kind of click around, do your thing. Yeah. And then you can go up to image and click blur. And it kind of makes it look like lava, I guess. Maybe not. Oh well. And then you want to just go ahead and center your sprite. Click OK. Let's make a new object. OBG_lava. And sprite, let's assign it to the lava sprite. And let's go into our level here and add this in. Let's just make a little pond of lava right here. Yeah, little lava squares, I guess. So now we want to make it to where when our player collides with this lava, he is going to lose hit points. But first, we need a variable called hit points. Now, let's go ahead and add an event. Create event. We're going to make the variable called hit points and start a code right now. So we're in our object player, we made a create event, and now we're adding code. Now, like I said, I think it was in the last video, health is a automatic global variable in GameMaker. But like I said again, I don't like using these variables that are already built in. There's only 3, health, lives, and score. But I don't like using them, I just don't. I'm sorry. You can use them and play around with them if you want to, but I don't want to. And plus, we're not making a global variable. So, we're going to name this variable hit points. And we're going to give him 100 hit points. So, we got that. Now, the next thing we want to the next thing we want to do is draw the variable on the screen. But let me tell you something. You cannot draw anything with an object that has a sprite that is going to be in the game that you want players to use. So, what do I mean by that? Well, we're in object player, right? And we have this variable in object player called hit points. Now, if we make a draw event, our sprite and our player is not going to be seen whatsoever. And what do I mean by that? Let me show you. Let's go ahead and create a draw event, and let's draw out this variable. So it's just draw, text, and let's just set it at random numbers here. And then let's draw out the variable hit points. And so there we go. We have a draw event in an object that we're going to be using, which is the object player. And instead of actually drawing out the player and putting the player on the screen, all it's going to do is draw out the variable hit points. And we're not going to be able to play with our object. And I'm going to show you here right now what it's going to do. Once it loads. There, see, now our player's gone, but it did draw out our hit points, which was 100. But yeah, our player is gone. Well, that's another reason why we need controllers, because we need another object to draw out that variable for us. So we cannot draw in a object that we're going to be using in the game for whatever purpose. We have to use controllers for that. So go ahead and delete that event that we just made in object player if you were following along. So we need to draw out a non-global variable on another object. But again, remember I told you, you cannot do that. Well, I told you how in a couple videos ago. But we're just going to use what I told you. Or use what I taught you. So, let's go to our con_score. And we might as well just draw that variable in here. Just for fun. Just because we can. So go ahead and go and do your draw event. That should already be there. Double click this code. And we're going to go ahead and draw out the object player's health in this object instead. Because it's already drawn stuff. So it's doing things, you know, that we want it to do. So, let's just put in this draw_text, and let's make it at x32, and then again, if you remember how I told you to do this last time, obg_player dot hit points. So that's telling GameMaker, hey, he wants to draw the variable that's in this object at this position. So there we go. So and it will do that too. So let's go ahead and play it. Yep, and it sure did. It's right there, 100. So, and everything still works the way it should. Alright, let's close that. So, just keep that in mind, because you will use global variables for different things, and you will use this type of, using variables in that way and stuff. Because look, you wouldn't want to make hit points a global variable, because what if you wanted an enemy to have the variable called hit points? It would just make everything very confusing for you. So sometimes it's best not to make a variable a global variable, because it's just it'll make things kind of annoying and complex and stuff. So I'm not making much sense now. My neighbor is mowing still. He's been mowing forever, and it's really throwing me off right now. So just deal with it, okay? If you don't like it, don't watch. So now we need to make it so our player, when he collides with the lava, will lose hit points. So let's add an event. We're going to add a collision event against the lava. And we're going to, and again, we're in our object player, collision event against lava. And we're going to add some code here. Hit points minus equal 1. So as long as he's standing in lava, he's constantly going to be losing, as long as he's standing there, 1 hit point. So let's go ahead and see how this works. He should lose them pretty fast. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah, he's losing his hit points at rapid speeds. But he can just eat these guys and feel better. And, yeah. But see, look what it did. Once it reached 0, it just kept on going and going and going. Well, GameMaker doesn't know any better. It's just going to do what it does. So we need to actually tell it to, stop at 0. But also look at one more thing, and then I'll save the rest for the next tutorial. Look how our player goes behind the lava. That's not good. Well, you're going to have to learn some things about spriting. Let's go ahead and close this. Go to your object player, and you'll see something over here called depth. Right under the visible and solid and where you choose your sprite, you'll see something called depth. Now this is, what sprite has priority over the other sprite. You can make a sprite go on, or actually let me say it this way, you can make objects go on top of other objects, or you can make them go below other objects. So in that instance, when our player ran into lava, he went under the lava. Well, we want him to be on top of the lava. So for our depth, we would put it to a value less than what object lava's depth would be. So you can see object lava has a depth of 0. So we would just make the depth of object player, I'm going to get this guy over here, we would just make this minus 1. So let's say the object lava had a depth of 5. As long as object player's depth is lower than 5, so like 4 or 3 or 2 or 1 or minus whatever, as long as it's below the object lava's depth, then it will be above it. It's kind of confusing, but that's just how it is. So object lava's depth should be 0, and object player will make minus 1. And we'll go ahead and test the game out. And it should work just fine. Bam! See, now he goes over the lava instead of below it. So, watch my next video. We'll be showing you how to make our health actually kill our guy. So, this is considered a cheat code, I guess. Infinite health. Alright, go to my website, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want to do. Alright, I'll see you guys in